ruthless. We got 30 to 100 rounds too. Alright.
What is up, guys? Candace B here. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. Welcome back to my subscribers and welcome to my new ones. How are you all doing? I know I'm a day late. Usually I post an analysis video on Sunday. I guess I got into the habit of that. But yeah, I was really busy yesterday, so my bad. But I am here today and we are going to do an analysis video as usual. Today I'm going to be looking at 3 different pairs really quickly. I'm going to be looking at GJ as usual. I'm also going to take a peek at gold just for the sake of it. And somebody asked if I can do an analysis on New Zealand Swiss franc, so I was like, okay, sure. I literally have never looked at that pair, but why not? Why not? This week in the markets is probably going to be pretty volatile, pretty crazy, as we all probably are assuming, because Tuesday is a big day, especially for US citizens. But in my opinion, I feel like just being prepared no matter what is the best way to go. And then just kind of taking it from there. And of course, as a disclaimer, the information in this video is just from my point of view. It's based on my personal opinion. The way I analyze the charts is just all based on how I see things. So take it with a grain of salt. Of course, I always encourage you to do your own analysis, do your own forecasting, your own back testing, etc. Form your own opinions. Don't just rely on a YouTube video. But before I begin, you already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that like button. Also subscribe, stay a while, chill with your girl, blase, and let us get into these charts. Alrighty, so the markets are open and we are on GBPJPY. First, we are looking at the monthly because October is officially done and November has begun. How exciting. We officially have 2 more months until 2020 is done. I know a lot of people are excited. Me personally, I don't know what the future is going to hold. 2021 can be worse, but knock on wood, hopefully it's not going to be. But yeah, anyway, so we're on the monthly, and as we can see, the October candle, I would say closed as a sort of bearish doji, just because we can see that there's an upper wick and a lower wick and a small body, and it closed in this zone area. It did close below the body of September's candle, but still a very small body in comparison. I see that when price had opened, it did push up, then it pushed down, and it closed by pushing back up. So the bulls did come in at the end of the month and were able to drive price up a little bit, but still overall it was a bearish candle. So yes, we still see these ebbs and these flows. The structure is still pretty straightforward. So we'll see what November has to offer. Again, this week is going to be kind of crazy. So, you know, me personally, I'm most likely not even going to trade this week. I'm probably just going to chill. There's really no reason to trade if, you know, knowing that 1, it's the election on Tuesday, 2, NFP is on Friday, so there's just news all around, and then of course 3, it's the first week of the month, and then 4, we're at the end of the year. You know, people are slowing down, you know, institutions are slowing down, so inevitably the markets may have less momentum, less volume, or it just may have just unpredictable volume that may not make sense. So in these type of cases, you know, it's not bad just to chill out. But yes, we are on the weekly now, just went down to it, and we see that just even in this area these past few weeks, there's just a lot of less momentum than in these weeks here. If you can see, we see these higher highs, higher lows, and then all of a sudden now we're kind of in this area where price is like, I don't really have much strength in comparison to these other weeks. Of course, this is the weekly, so these candlesticks still are pretty big ranges, but just kind of zooming out and looking at the structure from a zoomed out standpoint, you can kind of see, comparing to previous price action, that there was less volume. So yeah, zooming in now, there was a gap down. I see that there was a huge gap down because price would have closed here last week and then all of a sudden price opened here. So this was a huge gap that GJ made, and it kind of did already fill the gap, but yeah, it's still Sunday night, so you know, it can do whatever it wants to do. It can still fill this wick and then push up. We don't know. I mean, it's pretty hard to do an analysis just because Tuesday is on my mind, and you know, just knowing that the market will spike either way, and it'll be throughout the day, throughout the week. So many things will be changing that it's like it'll be so hard to keep track of. But from a technical analysis standpoint, we do still see this zone. I'm gonna just actually go to more recent price action. We see this zone here. If we're gonna use the bottom wick of last week's candle just to create a zone, and we see that we're in this downtrend here, kind of. I'm gonna go down to the lower time frames to see, but we kind of have this area that price has been respecting for the past couple of weeks, and now we're at this zone area. So let's go down to the daily and see what's going on. Okay, so we're on the daily. So as we can see, there was a double top formed beginning of October and then at the end of October. And once the second double top was formed, price pushed all the way down, just straight bearish candles all the way down. So now that price has been able to push down to this area, this high traffic area, now you're starting to see some rejection, some bullish rejection. And we see these huge lower wicks. These are really, really big wicks, as you can see. My drawing is horrible, but we already know how that goes. So yeah, the fact that each time prices come down into this area, it's really rejected it strongly, like a really, really strongly. That goes to show that this is a pretty strong support, I would say. And if price is able to sustain this level, then there is a high chance that we can absolutely see a push to the upside, you know, just respecting this channel. But overall, I still feel like it is a downtrend. Another, you know, major thing in the news that's happened is in the UK, the Prime Minister has stated that they will be going back into lockdown. So that is a big deal, obviously, for GBP. So yeah, to be honest, that's not good news. So of course, a downtrend being respected would be more realistic. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Because price pushed down so heavy in the past, you know, how many days, I feel like it would make sense to have some sort of pullback before going further down. And if you want, you can just kind of make your ranges here. I'm just gonna make my range just to see where price can possibly go. If price has the ability to push up here, who knows, you know, it could reject this area and then push back down. But right now I'd personally be waiting for the Monday candle to form. Well, to be honest, I'll be waiting for Monday and Tuesday just to see what the candlesticks look like. But yeah, if Monday's candle is able to close above this area in this zone, then there's a chance that you'll see some sort of push up at some point this week, before there is a further push down. Let us go to the 4 hour. So when we go down to the 4 hour, we see that price is consolidating. If I were just to take away these boxes and just kind of remap it out just to visualize, this is consolidation. Price is moving sideways. So yeah, again, just kind of waiting to see what Monday's candlestick will do, Monday's daily candlestick will do. It can very well just kind of stay in this range, bouncing up and down. So yeah, you just gotta wait and see. These are the times where it's not bad just to sit and wait. You don't need to always be placing a trade. You know, when price is doing something like this, it's kind of like, okay, let me just chill out and wait. That's personally my thought process, and what I try to always, you know, be disciplined with is just like knowing that if price is moving this way, there's a reason why it's doing this. it's very indecisive. It doesn't know what to do. It's preparing for something. There are so many factors that it's just like, okay, why don't I just relax? Why don't I just sit and wait and, wait for my move? And then of course, once price starts to kind of make its move, whether it be to the upside, what I would be waiting for is a break of this consolidation, a retest of it, and then a push up. Simple as that. Respecting that channel, putting my take profit here, my stop loss under this area. If I'm looking for sells, to be honest, I would pretty much be waiting. Let me zoom in actually. For sells, I would be waiting for price to close under this area and, just kind of grab those pips down. But I wouldn't want to be in sells down here, to be honest, because again, just with all these candlesticks, every time price came in this area recently, it's pushed up. So I personally wouldn't be too surprised if it did that again. Of course, there is the chance that price could break down, retest, and push down. But again, we don't know. There's so much news, so many things happening. Price can do whatever it wants to do, and it may not follow the technicals to a T, right? And a lot of times, of course, the news is already incorporated into price action and whatnot, but things come up last minute, you never know. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'd be waiting for. Let me just erase this. All right, so quickly moving down to the H1, seeing what's going on here. So as you can see, there's that gap here that I was talking about. This is just market open. So yeah, there was a gap down, meaning that there were orders that were being filled that needed to be filled over the weekend, and it was bearish. People were selling GJ, and now it's kind of pushed back up, but now it's pushing back down. Like, there's nothing going on. You can literally look at it and see that not much is going on. Again, like I said, I would be waiting for price to close below this area to see if, I can catch some sells down here. But once it comes to this area, I wouldn't be surprised if buys were more valid and, having a stop loss under here and then take profit in this area, something like that. Who knows? Let's just go down to the 30-minute for the sake of it. It's really, wow, 30-minute is literally the exact same as the 1 hour, of course. There's no new information here. Price is pretty bearish right now, but that can easily change. We are at this time of me recording this at this area here. It can reject, it can break down, it can reject here. You can kind of draw little minor zones just to, if you're trading lower time frames, just to kind of get good entries. But yeah, so we'll see. I'm waiting at this point. Long story short, I am waiting. But yeah, that's what I see on GJ. Let me go to gold and let's see what's going on that chart. All right, cool. So we're on the monthly time frame for gold. Just going to zoom in. So in the last few months, we see that gold has been very bearish, and there was that, huge doji here. Next candle was huge bearish candle with a huge body, and then the last month, October, lower momentum, lower volume, I would say, and yet it still closed bearish. Price did attempt to push up, but then it did push right back down and closed bearish. So yeah, I see that there is this support area, however, that in the last 3 months price has just been rejecting. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if this is just price creating higher low, higher high structure, because if we zoom out, we see that gold is overall bullish, I would say, in the long term, but more recently it looks very bearish. So we'll see. Let's go down to the weekly, see if there's any more info. Of course, gold will be greatly affected this week when there's uncertainty, when there's lack of trust in the US dollar. Then there is more investment into commodities like gold, which would drive gold up, which would drive it to push up. So if that's an indication, of what might be to come, then we might see a push up if price can sustain this area, then you know, we can see a push up. There might be a chance that price might come down, fill this wick, or even spike down, kind of do a fake out and then push back up. We don't know, especially with gold. It really just does whatever it wants. Gold would absolutely be something I would not be particularly looking to trade this week, but you never know. It could have a huge push up where you can kind of catch quick scalps, get in and out, but I wouldn't personally be staying in gold, you know, holding it for a day or two. I wouldn't be doing that. Probably for a couple hours, if anything, 1 or 2 hours, but that's pretty much it, because yeah, we don't know, but there is a very likely chance that pricing have momentum to break down here, possibly retest this since it's been tested as a support so many times. You know, there's a chance that price would want to come back to retest it as a resistance because it's a familiar area, and then push down, continuing with that bearish momentum that we see here right now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. For me, that's what I'd be looking for in terms of sells. For buys, I would want price to sustain this level, you know, break this trend line. I would want it to also close above this candle, because then this would be my range. This would be the area that I'd be looking to see if price can fill. And yeah, that would be, you know, the ideal trade. For sells, I would say, you know, just looking left, seeing here, that would be an area to exit for me if I were to take sells on gold. But yeah, let's go down. Let me erase this first. Okay, let's go down to the daily, see what's going on the daily. Yeah, prices, yeah, it's just hovering in this area, this support zone. I do see when I zoom into more recent price action, you know, we see that huge bearish push down. We see a correction or an exhaustion, as you can call it, whatever you want to call it. And we see that price closed on Friday with a upper wick, meaning that bears came and pushed price down, and price, as you can see, has already pushed down. So the bears kind of kept pushing price down, but the bulls came back in, and as it stands, they are pushing price up, kind of filling this wick. But yeah, just because this candle was a bullish candle doesn't mean that price is specifically going to go up. Again, a lot of times when price makes a huge move, huge push down, it'll want to correct itself, it'll want to gather liquidity, it'll exhaust before it grabs momentum to push further down with things such as news and whatnot. So I would say be careful, especially with gold. In that case, don't just think that one bullish candle is going to, you know, indicate that we're going to skyrocket up, and then, you know, you take an impulse trade that you didn't have to. Wait for more confirmations. You know, if you see price closing bullish above this candlestick, then that's a better indication that we may be looking to push up, maybe just to, you know, come back up to a familiar area such as here, or price pushed down previously, you know, things like that. So that's personally how I look at gold. It's a pretty difficult commodity to trade, but it's still, you know, doable. You just gotta put in the work. Let's go down to the 4 hour. 4 hours kind of looking all over the place to me personally, to my eyes, but to someone else it may look more, you know, comprehensible. But right now I just see some stagnant, you know, movement here. Not too much convincing me. I wouldn't be entering a trade on a Sunday night, Monday morning on gold. I would definitely not be doing that. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you know, in the 4 hour, you can see that price is kind of pushing up. You know, the bulls are trying their hardest to get above this area and sustain this area, but all it can take is a price level to be reached and the bears can just shoot right back down. We will see. If we're looking here, this is the type of structure that is, you know, more ideal. You see higher highs, higher lows. It's so much easier to follow. Here you can't really, you know, follow that if you're comparing this area to this area. You can see the difference in terms of structure, how this is more clear in my opinion versus this, which is still setting up. Let's go down to the 1 hour. Yeah, just further, you know, confirmation that it's still setting up. Let's see that. I do see on the 1 hour that we did reject this area a few times. This was what, Thursday and Friday, I guess. Price did push up on Friday, but it did pull back before the markets closed for the weekend. And when it opened, it did kind of continue that, but then it broke out of this bearish channel. And now it's kind of retesting this area. So from a technical standpoint, I can see that buys might be possible. But yeah, with gold, I personally would just be scalping gold. I don't know. That's just me though. That's just me. 30-minute. Yeah, just confusion. Nothing's going on really. I wish I was more entertaining, but whenever I see low volatility or nothing happening in the markets, I'm just like, okay, there's nothing really to be excited about. But yeah, that's pretty much what I see on gold. Just waiting for it to set up as per usual. I know for sure that Tuesday, oh my gosh. Is anyone else just nervous about Tuesday? I know that I'm Canadian, I get it. I know a lot of Americans watching this might be like, oh, why do you guys care? Trust me when I say that Canada is greatly affected by the election. So we are also kind of worried. Obviously not as worried as Americans, but we are the neighbors, we're the allies, we are the people, you know, who kind of follow you guys when y'all do stuff. So let me just keep my opinions to myself. Yeah, I don't know. On Tuesday, I'm just going to be chilling. But honestly, for those who are planning to trade on Tuesday, just be smart with it. You know, don't use all your capital. Don't be trying to, use the highest lot size that you can use on your account. Just be smart. If you have to open up a new account and just put a little bit of money in there just because you can't help yourself, you have to trade, then just use very low risk, okay? That's my personal opinion. Take it or leave it. Who am I anyways? I'm literally just a regular retail trader who struggles just like everyone else, just trying to find my way. So yeah, you don't really need to listen to me, but those are just my 2 cents. But yeah, let's just quickly check NZDCHF. All right, we're on the monthly of NC, I guess it's called. I have no idea. Kiwi franc, I guess you would call it. But yeah, so we're on this chart here on the monthly. This is probably gonna be really quick analysis just because I don't know anyone who trades this, but it was just that one individual who asked me to do a market outlook. So yeah, monthly, extremely low volatility in terms of just no specific direction. More recently, we see that if we zoom out, we are in a downtrend, it looks like. There was higher lows, higher highs being formed, but now we're kind of in this consolidation area. I'm sure I can draw like a box around it. Yeah, so not much movement. Price is just bouncing up and down. There's nothing really happening. Let's go down to the weekly. Weekly is kind of confirming that as well. We see when price comes down here, it bounces. When it gets up here, it bounces as well, but it's not breaking this area. So in the last 2 weeks, price did come down to this area and it bounced, creating huge doji here, and now it's kind of pushing up. Yeah, not too sure what direction it wants to go. Gotta just wait and see. You can draw, your more specific zones. If I were to draw that, we see that this level is being sustained. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times it has rejected. It has not been able to close below this area, even though it did push and break it. This was a fake out, I guess you can consider it. But yeah, now it's retesting this area again. So who knows, maybe it can push up, but we shall see. Daily. Alright, daily's looking kind of crazy. Friday's candle was a very, very indecisive candle. It closed exactly where it opened after pushing up and pushing down. So I don't know, it's just, there was, I don't really know what to say about it. This is a pretty odd pair in my opinion. I don't trade NZD pairs or CHF pairs, so yeah. I'm sure there are some traders on YouTube who do, if you want to refer to them, but I personally do not. I just see ranging. This is what I see. This is what I see. Keep drawing. But yeah, I would want to personally wait for a breakout retest to the downside, or same thing to the upside. Break, close above, retest, and push up. Simple as that. That's literally what I'd be looking for, but these would be the areas that I'd be waiting for, just because everything in between is just ranging. So if you're someone who likes to trade ranges, then of course it would make more sense to buy when it's down here or sell when it's up here, just because at least you can put a reasonable stop loss in place. You know, put your stop loss under these wicks or above these wicks, whatever the case may be. In my opinion, that would be what would make more sense. 4 hour, let's get rid of these drawings. 4 hour time frame. Yeah, I would say pretty low volatility in comparison to other pairs. It's like it has low volatility and then boom, all of a sudden it like spikes. So I don't know if this is news or not, or if this is how this pair trades. But yeah, not really much movement. Let me see how many pips this was. This was only a 45 pip move, dang. This move would have been like definitely a bigger move on GJ. It would be like a 100 pip move, to be honest. But yeah, very small movements, I would say. These little candles are, wow, not even 20 pips. Okay, yeah, this is a low momentum pair to trade. Not really my personal appetite, but to each their own. 1 hour. You see there was a gap there when market opened, and price has been hovering under this area. Yeah, not really doing much. Not gonna go down to the lower time frame just because it's kind of showing the same thing. It's just ranging. Yeah, so you know, if you were to take buys, it would make sense to have, you know, stop loss under these wicks. It's not a bad, you know, 20 pip stop loss. That's actually pretty good. And then if you want to ride it all the way up, 40 pips, that's not bad at all. 1 to 2 risk to reward. Yeah, something like that. That's personally what I'd be doing if I were to trade this pair. I'd be probably looking for buys right now, but as we speak. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Quick analysis. Good luck to everyone this week. You know, good luck to everyone in general. In my opinion, you know, no matter the outcome of Tuesday, we move forward. Life goes on. And all we can do is try our best to be, you know, good human beings. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And just have optimism for a good future. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys always, as usual. If you enjoyed this video, please let me know by hitting that like button. I would really appreciate that. Also comment down below, how are you guys getting prepared for this week? Are you going to be trading this week? Are you going to be brave enough to trade? Are you going to be just chilling, relaxing? Let me know in the comment section. And last but not least, don't forget to subscribe so you know when I post another video. And in the meantime, feel free to check out any of my other videos on this channel and my other channel. But again, I appreciate you guys so much, and I hope you have a phenomenal day, week, and life. Bye!